Time for one of the conversations I look forward to every second Saturday. It's time to talk all things tech. Now, today, from online money transfers to a new fast-charging 200-megapixel phone to a long-range electric vehicle, Nafisa Akabor from recharge.co.za is here, fresh off a plane from Dubai and ready to chat about all these exciting things. Welcome back, Nafisa. Just before you head off again to another exciting destination, let's talk about Payshop. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Yes. Or is it Payshop as in shop?
Payshop, yeah.
Payshop. Now, you know, when I read up about it and you said you wanted to chat about it, speed and security are really two of the things that, whether you're banked or of the unbanked in South Africa, it's two of the most important things. I mean, a few weeks don't go by with there again being a warning from security experts saying, oh, there's been a spike in online fraud in terms of banking. Please be aware, please be vigilant, and that kind of thing. Where does Payshop come in ensuring that how you move your money is safer, and it sounds like it's even faster?
So you're not giving your banking details to the wrong parties. You obviously don't want the wrong person getting it. You could easily be added for a debit order and you wouldn't know. So yeah, you use your cell phone number as a proxy for your bank account. So instead of me giving you my bank details, my branch code, all these details, you just need to pay me to my cell number. Gosh. So that's really revolutionary, because it's payment in this country, you know, as you know, especially real-time clearance is very expensive, and sometimes you need to pay someone urgently. They need the money, they're traveling, whether it's a domestic worker or you want to tip a waiter or a petrol attendant, and if they want to get the money instantly, you're just paying them to a cell number. So it's actually quite a game changer, and I don't use that term lightly.
Yeah, absolutely, because that whole idea of, oh, what bank are you with? Okay, so it's going to take a few days for you to get that
Yes.
money and that kind of thing. And people often do not have time, and the longer you wait, the more you start worrying, is my money actually going to appear? How's the uptake been? Because I know a few of the major banks came on board, and more recently, a few months ago, I think Discovery came on board as well. What's the uptake been, and what's the feedback been?
Well, it launched first on the 4 banks, and Discovery came recently. I think it still constitutes for a smaller percentage of all transactions, because it's still a new service and people still need to sign up for it. So it's not a separate app. It's tied to your bank if your bank supports it. That's the most important thing. So you can't just go and download the Payshop and think that it'll work with you. Your bank has to support it, and it works with a cell number per bank account.
And have you tried it? What was your experience?
So because it launched like last week on Discovery, and because I have an FNB and a Discovery account, I have an eSIM, as you know, we've spoken about it.
Don't give out too much information, Nafisa. You know how this works.
I tested it on myself, because obviously I transfer money between my accounts. It's just so ridiculous to think I can put money in my account, maximum 3,000 per transaction, and it clears instantly, within seconds. I'm already getting the notification on my other app the money came through.
And we did mention the cost, right?
Yes, so the banks have different fees, like FNB under 100 Rand, it's free. Over a certain amount, Standard Bank, it's 7 Rand 50. Nedbank has a flat rate, 1 Rand. But it also depends on your bank type. You might qualify for not pay anything, which fortunately on my both bank accounts, on Discovery and FNB, I'm currently not paying to use the service, but it's a very minimal cost.
Now, you've just come back from Dubai. You weren't there on holiday. You were there on a very serious mission, and that was to try out this new phone called the Honor 90. What is it? Where does it come from? What part of the market is it targeted at?
So it's this little phone here. So a lot of people firstly don't understand, Honor used to be owned by Huawei, but they sold them off before the US sanctions. So very crucially, it still has the full Google suite, full Android, full Google Play Store. A lot of people don't seem to understand that, but it's a proper Android device. So what they did with this phone, they're targeting people who want to be, I wouldn't necessarily say content creators, but people who want to create good content. There's an AI Vlogmaster, there's a 200-megapixel camera. It's trying to make things easier for you if you want to record content and snap together videos, quick 15-second clips to share on social.
And has there been, in the South African market, did that... what happened to Huawei, let's call it that. I don't know what else to call it. Did it leave a massive gap? Are there fans of Huawei that you think will be very happy once this phone hits the market?
I think so, because of the Magic OS, the experience is still sort of similar. You can find that familiarity, but it's 2023. People come to me for phone advice all the time. They keep telling me, I miss my old Huawei, what can I get?
Yeah.
You know, people are still, they still want it. So I think if you are that person, and also what I like about this Honor 90, it is a mid-range phone, not one of the premium, so it will appeal to a larger segment. It has eSIM support. So you normally typically find that on more the higher end phones. So that's quite exciting.
Do you think that we're seeing, with this coming into the market, we've seen other phones coming into the market, there's more of a democratization of the kinds of phones that are now available in South Africa, that you don't have to just go with the big brands, that you do have more options out there?
Definitely. That's why the mid-range segment exists. They try to give you good value. I mean, it has a 200 megapixel camera. It's doing these fancy AI features for you. It's got a big battery. It's got fast charging. It's really good. It's just that there are some compromises, as you know, with mid-range. So with this, it's like a plastic back. You know, there's no wireless charging. But for me, that's not really a big deal. If you have a fast charger, you're good. The wireless charger is always a bit slower, in my opinion.
So it just depends on what your priorities are.
Yes.
And then finally, you are our electric vehicle expert here. You lucky girl. Got to drive the Volvo C40 Recharge just last week. Where does that fit into the market, and how did it handle?
So it's the first, it's Volvo's first standalone EV. There's no electric internal combustion engine counterpart. So it's a standalone EV. It's 1.285 million. And it's a coupe, so that's the other thing. The last year's XC40 was a more regular-looking SUV. This is for people who obviously want that coupe style of look. It has a 75 kilowatt-hour net battery. It's sort of similar to the XC, but if you just want a different styling, I would say. Yeah, it's comfortable. I love driving EVs. It's big. It's got the 360 cameras. I don't have to turn around to reverse. Everything is there, focused for me.
And it really seems to be an exciting time in the sector at the moment. Just a couple of weeks ago, you spoke to us about, I think it was 2 cars that came in from the Asian market. This, of course, the more established Volvo brand, the world's, the perception is it's the world's famous family brand. It's the safest car, It's got all of those things connected to that brand. Is that something they're pushing as part of this latest development in their EV sector?
Yes, definitely. They're switching to full electric anyway, so all the cars we're currently going to see are going to be some form of electric. So yeah, I want to point out something with the load shedding. It was stage 6. It was one of the worst. I drove to Mall of Africa. It has a 200 kilowatt
From
speed
where
charger.
did you drive?
From Sunning Hill.
Yeah.
I planned my day. I thought I'd go there, charge the car, get stuff done. So because Mall of Africa has one of the fastest chargers in the country, it's 200 kilowatt in terms of speed. The car I drove is maximum 150 kilowatts. So it was, wow, okay, this is the first time this happened to me on a car. It refused to charge because it's not compatible.
So how far did you get back? Did you have to call a friend or Uber?
No, so fortunately I planned it so that I'm not below 20% ever on a car.
Okay.
I trickle charge because of load shedding. I managed to go to an Audi dealership, and they obviously, because we use the same charger, you can go with sort of any car, and it was a fast enough 80 kilowatt.
So we're still at a point in our relationship or our journey with electric vehicles in South Africa with our very specific issues, that you still have to plan a little bit more when you have one of these cars and you've made it a part of your life.
Yeah, you can't be spontaneous in an electric car currently.
Yeah. Okay, Nafisa, that's where we're going to leave it now. You are flying off to Korea next. Tell us quickly what we can look forward to when we speak to you in 2 weeks' time.
I'm going to check out Samsung's new devices, the foldables, the Z foldables. There's a big upgrades coming, and it's quite exciting.
Well, there you go. Please eat all the delicious things for me in Korea, and when you come back, we'll find out all about the latest in the world of tech and phones, specifically Nafisa Akabor. She really has the coolest job of most of the people I know. So off she goes, and we'll talk to her again when she's back.